multiple degrees, licenses, I was in research. And so I thought, gosh, who am I? And I have been asked that. Hi, I'm Jenna and I hate trends, which is why it took me so long to notice that this kind of video was going around on YouTube. I decided to participate because YouTube truly did change the trajectory of my life with only 3 videos. My 3rd video caught fire and took off. And I, at the time, had very few subscribers. I'm sitting on the floor because I am currently rearranging all my furniture and I was struck with the desire to do this video, and I just decided to sit in the corner where it is clear and there's some space, which is crazy for someone who has the history of perfectionism and struggles with control the way that I have in my life. So how did I come to YouTube? So I started on YouTube in 2022, I believe it was April maybe, is when I made my first video. And I had recently left nursing, and it was a very difficult decision to make in the sense that I was walking away from a career that by all metrics I had been very successful at. But I had reached a breaking point and I had to leave. I had to walk away. Now, I definitely had no intention on purpose of replacing that career, job, income, any of that. And I think that that's important to know. I didn't have any intention of getting on YouTube and like becoming a YouTuber. And you might ask, well, then why did you get on YouTube? One of the side effects of the career that I was in, 2 careers in a row actually. First, I was a veterinary technician, then I was an RN. Both of those careers caused me to really shut down my creativity and completely become disconnected with that side of myself. So being in this place where I felt very lost and like I had gotten to a point with my nursing career where I didn't even recognize myself anymore. I was angry, I was negative, I was incredibly jaded. So when I left nursing, I needed something that was so different and that potentially would give me the opportunity to be creative again. So I made a YouTube video. I think I talked a little bit about maybe wanting to live a little slower, and I don't even know if I really knew what that meant. I just knew I needed something very different than the intense, highly perfectionist, just overwhelming burnout that I was coming from. And I just thought I'd share a few videos of me, doing things around my house, decorating, that kind of stuff. Things I was kind of already wanting to do, I just thought I would make them public and share them. Oh, how naive I was. I had absolutely no idea how much went into making YouTube videos in all aspects, getting in front of the camera, creating content that people actually want to see. All of these things that if you've been on YouTube for more than 5 minutes, you learn them very quickly. It's like a crash course. And thankfully, I did not know that there was so much involved. I don't think I would have ever done it. So I made that first video, and then a few months went by and I made a video, I think on my gardening. I think it was on my fall garden. And then I decided that I was going to do some Christmas decorating that I would share with people. I always decorate big for Christmas. I love the season, and I thought, well, I'll share it and maybe people will be interested. And as part of that decorating plan, I was making some glitter pine cones. So I made this DIY video that I personally don't think was very good. And even when I was making it, I thought, this is so obvious. I mean, when you're a creative person, it can feel like a lot of things are kind of duh to you that are not duh to other people. And I thought, who is gonna watch this video of me putting glue and glitter on pine cones? Well, over 200,000 people watched that video. It's still racking up views today. This blew me out of the water. I could not believe it. It took me from a handful of subscribers to monetization within a few weeks. I'm not sure of the exact timeline, so I don't want to over-exaggerate it. But what that did was show me, first of all, it's possible. it's possible to take off on YouTube. It's possible to suddenly have something that's earning you money after you have, made a one-time effort. It can keep running in the background. Now, it wasn't a lot of money. And in fact, I've overall earned very little money from AdSense. But as I said, it was not about the money for me. It was about other things that were much bigger and much more important to what I didn't realize was a healing journey. So how has this changed me or changed my life? Well, one of the biggest things that it has done is it has shown me how wonderful people can be. I've had hundreds of thousands of views now, and I've had very little negativity. Despite not always putting out the best content, and despite being really technically inept at times, my audience has been incredibly patient, positive, encouraging, and they've really helped restore my, I don't know, it's a trite thing to say, but restore my faith in humanity in a lot of ways. I was really jaded. Sorry, I had to get up for an Amazon delivery. The overwhelming kindness and positivity and support of perfect strangers has been, I think, extra overwhelming in a positive way to me as someone whose perfectionism arose from the need to protect myself from a narcissistic parent. I'm trying to think how to phrase this. If you don't understand what I mean about a narcissistic parent, I am so glad for you, genuinely. I'm glad that that's something that is not anything in your world at all. And if you do know what I mean by that, I am so sorry that you've had to experience that, because it is a brutal thing to have to survive. My YouTube experience of putting myself out there, putting my creativity out there, interacting with strangers, again, who are so positive and supportive, it has been a huge part of my healing journey. I hate the word journey, but it just is the appropriate thing to say in this case. And it's been a big slice of the pie as I work on overcoming perfectionist tendencies, because you'll always have the tendencies, but you develop ways of dealing with it as you get older and mature and heal and get away from those influences. Anyway, I don't want to digress too far on that, but that is a huge way that this channel has helped me, and I did not anticipate that at all. I have become a much happier person, just much more balanced, more calm, more relaxed, so much more like my old self. That anger and that frustration and resentment that I was carrying with me, I've released it. I've been able to let it go, and I'm just much more pleasant to be around. I'm sure my husband would agree. Now, part of that is just the lack of the stress that my career was putting on me, but I also think that creativity is so healing, and it has let me find myself again. So I'm really grateful for that. Again, didn't really anticipate that. Maybe had kind of an instinctive feeling that that might happen if I started creating on YouTube, but I didn't know for sure. And I'm really glad that I followed that instinct. Another really big thing that being on YouTube has taught me is that it's okay to be a weirdo. And there are a lot of other weirdos out there who like the things that you like and who vibe with you and who will get you. You know, it's okay to be a triangle in a room full of circles. It's okay to prefer antique and unique things and thrifted items to whatever's on the shelf right now at Target. But there's a lot of other people out there whose style is similar to mine, or who can appreciate what I enjoy and what I share. And I was pretty nervous about that, because I've always been that person who just liked things that were different than other people. And, you know, that's very lonely and isolating, or it can be. And YouTube has helped me find my people. It hasn't helped me find a lot of people yet, but I'm closing in on 4,000 subscribers, and I sure never thought that I would be here a couple years later, or ever, really. The third thing that I've learned being on YouTube is that you don't have to be an expert in order to be here. I think for a long time, especially coming from a profession in which I was heavily credentialed, I had multiple degrees and licenses and certifications and extra education and all this. I mean, I was the head of the Nursing Research Council. I was in research. I was at the bedside as a senior nurse and teaching people. And, you know, that's the kind of headspace I was coming from. And so I thought, gosh, who am I? And I have been asked that, you know, who are you to, gosh, how did this person say it? They said something along the lines of like, who do you think you are? You're not an interior designer or something, you know, or you must think you're a real talented designer. No, I've never presented myself as an expert. In fact, if anything, I've had, what do they call that? I can't think of what it's called. Imposter syndrome. That's what it's called. I've definitely had imposter syndrome because whereas before I would just, you know, move my furniture around and decorate something, paint something a certain way, whatever. And maybe I'd send a picture to a friend or my sister and, you know, they'd about it and think it was great. But of course they will, they're biased, right? So now I'm sharing this with people all over the world, and that's scary. But at the same time, it's amazing how many people enjoy what I do and have expressed that they have learned things from me. Even in that third video that I was telling you about the glitter pine cones, so many people have said that they've learned something new or they've learned from each other in the comments section, and that's amazing. So yeah, you don't have to be an expert to be on YouTube. You just have to be I would just say that you have to be enthusiastic, you have to love what you're doing, and you have to have some degree of proficiency, right? Or willingness to try something and have people learn along with you even as you fail. And I guess that brings me to number 4. Even failure can be a success. One of the things that I've really tried to do and continue to lean into is sharing when things don't go right. As a DIYer or a crafter, creator, someone who, you know, is rearranging things, sometimes I'll stop and say, this isn't working, and I will admit it. And instead of just deleting the footage and showing the start to finish of the successful version, I will tell people halfway through, this wasn't working and I had to change tact. And that seems to be something that people really like because that's human, you know? That's anti-perfectionist. Oliver, don't mark the tripod, please. Yeah. Okay, where are we at? Was that 4? I don't know, I've lost count. I guess I'll share one more thing. I don't know if this is number 4 or where we're at with the numbers, but I am not someone who has social media. I never really have. I had Facebook for quite a while, you know, going back to college or whatever, but I haven't even logged in since 2019 on there. I've never had Instagram in the sense that I have a personal account that has like a handful of photos on it, and I have a account associated with my YouTube and my blog just so that I have like the space and that there's nothing on there. I have no TikTok. I briefly had Snapchat for a short time and that's gone. What else is out there? I'm sure I'm forgetting something obvious, but I don't have these things. I've never enjoyed them. I've never liked social media for a lot of reasons. And I really don't like shorts on YouTube. I just don't like short form content. And I'm learning that people, despite YouTube and TikTok and Snapchat trying to force short form content kind of down our throats, people seem to really want long form content. They seem to want connection. They seem to want real people, real experiences. And of course, there's still an edited quality to YouTube, right? Like I'm not walking around with a GoPro filming my whole life, but long form content does actually give you more of an experience of being with another person or being part of a person's life. Whereas I feel like short form content gives you no real connection with anybody, And it also just doesn't give you much room to create. You know, creativity, true creativity takes time. It takes that organic unfolding of one thing leading to another, and, you know, moving a flower from here to there and it looking better, and curling a ribbon a certain way. And that's what I really enjoy doing, and I love sharing that with people, and people seem to really enjoy that. And that's really rewarding, because YouTube can feel like you're kind of shouting into a void. And when you get a really wonderful comment and someone says, you know, I really need help. Sorry, kitten. When people take I'm not sure exactly what I was saying, but when people take the time to leave a really nice comment, I make sure to let them know. Ella. And they'll say, you know, I love your videos. I really enjoy, you know, watching your content. I try to make sure I tell them how much that means to me, because it goes a long way. And I never thought I would be on YouTube, period. And even more so, I never thought I'd be someone who was receiving really genuine positive comments from people. The most telling thing, I suppose, about the fact that YouTube has changed my life is the fact that I'm still here. I didn't quit after a handful of videos, which I kind of thought that I would. I didn't really think it would be for me. I thought it was something I'd play around with and see how it goes. And I'm glad I took that attitude. I'm glad that I took that attitude, and I feel like I gave myself a lot of space to evolve organically. I expected to grow slowly. I did not expect to have things take off. All right, I feel like I'm rambling now, so I'm gonna leave it here. But I guess to sum it up, I would say my only regret really is that I didn't start sooner. But at the same time, I do believe in divine timing. I do believe that it was the right time for me to start. I don't know that I would have found the same value in it if I hadn't done it at that very pivotal moment where I was at a real crossroads, and I had made a huge life-altering decision to walk away from nursing and to be at home full-time and to not work. And I was in search of something new, and turns out YouTube really was the right choice for me at that time. So I guess if I have any advice for you, it would be to do it, to give it a try. No one is watching at first, and you know what? That's actually a great thing, because you can do whatever you want within reason, and no one's gonna see, no one's gonna judge you, no one's gonna care, unless your third video goes viral, which was a little overwhelming. But you just never know what doors it could open or what possibilities it might hold. So I would encourage you to give it a try. And I can honestly say that YouTube has in fact changed my life, and that change came with that very low subscriber count with only 3 videos, and the rest has been history. Thanks for watching, and if you choose to stick around, I will see you in the next one.